Hey there, Norman here from WoCode, and today we're going to be taking a look at the FX Dots widget. The FX Dots widget displays a three-dimensional plane of dots. The dot pattern is interactive, allowing the site visitor to affect the dots with direction, ripples, and waves. So let's go ahead and jump into the builder here and take a look at how to set this up. Here in the builder, we have our coming soon outdoors template. Now, this template is originally designed for an outdoors, hiking, wilderness style site. However, the beauty of WoCode is that you are not required to stay true to the original template design. So for this example, we'll be removing the content background image related to the outdoors and making this a more generalized coming soon page. But I wanted to utilize the FX Dots widget as the page background to bring some movement and interactiveness to the site, as well as make some changes to the Get Notified button so it pops off that background a bit more. Before we take a look at how we're going to set this up, let's just take a look at exactly what the end goal is. If we come into this preview here, this is what we're going to create. As you can see, we have that nice interactive, subtle FX Dots background. And we have that updated Get Notified button, so it's more prominent off the back of that page. And overall, we just have a very clean and nice looking coming soon page. So let's jump back into the builder and take a look at how we're going to set this up. Here back in the builder, we want to start off by getting rid of this background image of the mountains and the water. So we can open up the Design tab on the left side panel, click Site Background, Background Per Page, and scroll down and click delete on that image. Next, we can open up the color tab. We can give this a color background and we'll use this gray color, which is the same color that the FX Dots widget is going to use. Next, we want to click the eyeball icon on the bottom left of the side panel and come down and unhide the footer. This is going to be important for achieving a full screen effect. Want to come down into the footer itself. Click the footer, go into spacing, and then we want to just delete the spacing that is on the footer. Perfect. Okay, one of the final things we want to do before adding the widget to the page is we want to open up the Get Notified button. In the Design tab of this button, we'll scroll down to the button text. We can change this to white. Then we can go back into the Button Style tab. We can come down, give this a 3-pixel white border. And then for the background color itself, we can give it this dark orange that I already have preloaded into the color picker. We can click the View More option, and for the hover background color, we'll select a lighter orange. And then that is good to go. Wonderful. So now finally we can open up the widgets panel over here on the side. We can grab that FX Dots widget. We could just drag and drop that right onto the page. Now with that widget on the page, if you don't immediately see the widget's effect, you'll simply need to refresh the builder to allow the effect to load. It should also be noted that this black placeholder widget will not be visible on the live site. It will only be visible on the preview site and in the builder. So with that being said, we can jump into this content tab and take a look at the content options for this widget. The first option we have here is the Apply To option. This is a drop down that provides multiple options for how you choose to apply the effect. There's quite a few options in this list, and for this example, we'll be using the entire page option. However, that being said, there are two options in here that I wanted to highlight, specifically the first being the option we'll be using. That is the entire page option. This applies the effect to the background of the entire page, and in this case, the widget may be placed anywhere on the page except the header or footer. Placement in the header or footer will result in the effect being applied to the entire site. Do note that due to this widget being so GPU heavy, it is only recommended to use the entire page option on shorter pages such as what we're doing here, as longer pages with the entire page option enabled will see reduced page speeds. The other option I wanted to highlight is the Custom CSS Selectors option. This is an advanced option that allows you to target elements using their CSS class or ID. This is useful for when trying to apply the effect to the background of things where a widget cannot be placed, such as a gallery or a slideshow. We'll select entire page and move on down below that to take a look at the mouse control option. This option enables an animation that moves the background when it is hovered by a mouse. And that's all for the content tab. Let's jump over into the design tab and take a look at how to style this widget. Here in the design tab, we'll start from the top and work our way down through all the different design options. Starting at the top, we have the minimum dimensions option. This sets the width of the container for the widget, and there are two options within this setting. First one being automatic. This automatically sets the width of the widget's container to be the same width as the row or column that the widget is currently in. The other option we have is the custom option. This forces the width of the widget's container to be something other than the width of the row or column that the widget is currently in. We'll select automatic and move on down to the dot size setting. This sets the size of the dots in the widget. So if we wanted to increase this to 81, we can see those dots are quite large. And if we wanted to bring this back down, we can see that those dots are much smaller. Next, we have the dot spacing. This sets the space between the dots. So if we wanted to ramp this up to 100, we can see those dots are extremely spaced out. And if we wanted to reduce that down all the way, we can see those dots are much more closer together. And we'll put that back at 35. Moving down from there, we have the background color. This changes the color behind the dots. Next, we have the background opacity. This changes the opacity of the background color. And then finally, we have the dots color, which changes the color of the dots. And we have the sphere color, which changes the color of the sphere. The sphere is located just below that using this toggle. And if we turn that on, we see now we have this sphere animation. And for this example, we will go ahead and turn this off. And that is going to do it for the design tab for this widget. With that, we can go ahead and close the widget out and grab our preview URL. On our preview site here, we can see that the FX Dots widget is working great as the page's background and does a great job of bringing some motion and life to this otherwise static page. It should be noted once again that this black placeholder for the widget will not be visible on the live site. It will only be visible on the preview site and in the builder. And that is it for the FX Dots widget. As you can see, it is a very simple widget, but one that adds a ton of life to any site. That being said, my name is Norman Durkee, and you have been rocking with the best website builder platform on the web, wocode.com. And until next time, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to support. We're always here to help.